Okay, today we're going to do sum or differences of angle measures. Functions of the sum of two angles. The following formulas can be found on the formula sheet. All these are on the formula sheet except for this one here. Whoops, sorry about that. This one basically is the rewrite of the one above it, showing you that tangent actually is sine over cosine. But the one above it, all the first three are going to be on the reference sheet. So again, I will give them to you on the any test or quiz. All right, what do you have to know? Well, you actually have to know what they are. Like the sine of A plus B is the sine of A times the cosine of B plus the cosine of A times the sine of B. So you have to know how to go from the expanded form to the original and the original to the expanded form. All right, let's look on yours. It's below your sheet. Mine is on the next page. Then I go into the differences. So you actually have to know, like, take a look at cosine. Cosine of A minus B is cosine of A times cosine of B plus sine of A over sine of B. So you really have to be careful on what you're looking at and how you're filling it in. Again, this one here is not on the reference sheet. It's just the manipulation of the one above it, just actually expanding it out the long way. All right, let's work with this to see how you do these. And again, you're going to need a graphing calculator in front of you, so make sure you have one. If you don't, pause the video, get one, and then come back. All right, so now that you have your graphing calculator in front of you, let's take a look at this. The expression sine of 35 cosine of 22 plus cosine of 35 and sine of 22 is equivalent to, well, first of all, it goes sine cosine plus cosine sine. So I have to look for the expanded form that represents that on my formulas on the page prior, and I find it to be sine of A plus B. So it actually is sine of A plus B. Well, if I fill it in, angle A in this case then is represented by 35 degrees, and B is 22 degrees. So I actually have sine of 35 plus 22, which is sine of, anybody want to tell me? You're correct, 57 degrees. And sine of 57 degrees is number 2. Let's take a look at the number 2. The expression sine of 210 cosine of 30 minus cosine of 210 sine of 30. That's the expanded form of, take a look at the page prior. You're correct. That's the expanded form of sine of A minus B. So in this case, A is represented by 210. And B is represented by 30. So my answer is going to be the sine of 180. But I don't see that there. It's not one of my options. So it can't be number 4 because that just says 180. I need the sine of 180. Well, let's put that in the calculator. What is the sine of 180? You're correct, it's 0. Well, do I have 0 there? Yep, it's choice number 3. All right, let's move on to a couple more. Which of the following is equivalent to the sine of pi over 2 minus y? Well, now we have to think a little bit. What is pi over 2? You're correct, it's 90 degrees. So we actually have the sine of 90 degrees minus y. Well, if I take a look at that, I have no answer that represents that. So let's see if we expand it and what happens. So basically we have the sine of A minus B because it's subtraction. So we have the sine of A cosine of B minus the cosine of A sine of B. So it's going to be the sine of 90 cosine of y. So I'm actually expanding it out using my formula sheet minus the cosine of 90 times the sine of y. Okay. I don't have that either. Well, let's go a little further. On the calculator, what is the sine of 90? You're correct, it's 1. So I have 1 times, there's no way I can find out cosine of y, so I have to keep it as cosine of y, minus, what's the cosine of 90 on the calculator? You're correct, 0 times the sine of y. So let's actually simplify this. 1 times cosine of y is cosine of y, minus 0 times sine of y is 0. So cosine of y minus 0 is, you're correct, choice number 1, cosine of y. All right, let's take a look at our last question for today, number 4. The expression tangent of 180 minus y is equivalent to, so it's tangent of A minus B. So looking at the formula sheet, It's tangent of A minus the tangent of B. So we're going to go tangent of 180 minus the tangent of, and in this case my B is y, over 1 plus the tangent of A times B. So it's 1 plus the tangent of 180 times the tangent of y. All right, I don't see that there, so let's manipulate it a little bit more. Tangent of 180 in the calculator is, you're correct, 0. So it's 0 minus the tangent of y over 1 plus tangent of 180 again is 0 times the tangent of y. All right, let's figure this out. 0 minus the tangent of y is a negative tangent of y on the top. What do we have on the bottom? 1 plus 0 times tangent of y. Well, 0 times tangent of y is 0. So 1 plus 0 is just 1. So negative tangent of y over 1 is negative tangent of y. So we have choice 2. So basically what we did today is we learned how to take those sum and difference formulas and manipulate what they gave us by either using the original form or the expanded form. And if we could put anything into the calculator, we did to get it simplified as much as possible. So tomorrow class, we're going to go a little bit further with this and see how else we can use these formulas. And again, remember, these formulas are given to you on the formula sheet, so you do not have to memorize them. Have a good evening.